Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? All right, the lighting is a little messed up. What I'm going to talk to you about for the next 15 minutes is an issue near and dear to my heart, and it's an issue that I have actually worked pretty hard to bring to the people and teach people. As you may know, I've come out of the closet. I'm an American that suffers from disabilities. You say, well, what is disability? It's a racket. You're a con man, Terry Tyler, and you're a piece of shit. I don't want to listen to you anymore. They say, how is he disabled when he can speak, when he's, highly intelligent, he's got this really high IQ, and, he does all this crazy shit. That's where I get a lot of jealousy. That's where I get a lot of haters, and I actually suspect that's why I'm being blocked by some of these networks. But let's get to the facts, all right? Let me click this button for you. Here is the trap. It's not all sunshine and lollipops. I think I'm part of a secret program. I'm going to explain how they fucked the taxpayer and why I'm actually pretty pissed off about this myself, and that's why I'm fighting for it. I've actually gone to some, I wouldn't say congressmen, they might be congressmen. There's some people around here that I've actually gone to, and I've spoken about the issue, and I'm supposed to be getting a program. I want the program to come out, this pilot program to come out in my state. We'll start it off in state because you have Social Security disability, and then you have Social Security, and then you have disability. They're two different things. One of them's from the state, one of them's federal. I don't know. And I think each state's a little bit different. But as they say, 23% of people, about a quarter of the American population is on some form of Social Security. That means old folks that are getting their Social Security benefits after retirement. And there's also some stragglers in there, some Riri Gillespies like me that are getting the Social Security benefits. Now I'm going to tell you about my story in the Social Security system. I was getting Social Security when I was like 6 years old. And this was the trap. This is how they trap working people, and they put their kids into experiments. I'm telling you, millions and millions of people got fucked this way. They wouldn't let me go to school unless I was on medication. And they gave me some fucked up shit that's illegal to give kids today. It's illegal. And they billed the taxpayers $400 or $500 a bottle, and they racked it up. I took more pills than Jimmy Carter. I take more pills than I take today when I'm on a fucking drug spree. I took a lot of fucking pills, and they charged them. They charged them more money than we made. Our whole family made. My mom was a working mother. My dad was a working dad. They were working all the time. I was in school. They wouldn't let me go to school. And my mom begged them not to put me on pills. They put me on the pills, and they made me psychotic. They locked me up. They stuck needles in my arm. We had to go sticking needles in my arm twice a week. The only people that ever drugged kids and put needles in kids' arms is the government. And you take that to the bank. And guess who they did it all on? They tortured me, and they billed you, the fucking taxpayer. So possibly millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars have gone on these fucking pills. I don't really even take them anymore out of respect for the government, out of respect for the taxpayer. I try to fight through my disability with other non-conventional means. Plus, doctors are crooks. They're crooks. It's a scam. It's a setup. You go to these doctors, they're going to tell you what they want you to take, not what works, not what you think works. They're going to put you through that rigmarole system, and they're going to try to keep getting you back. As soon as they know you got Medicaid, they're just going to run it up. Because you know why? That's how they line their pockets. They don't give a damn. And people think I get a lot of money. I don't even get enough money to cover rent. You know how much it costs to rent a house out here? The cheapest rent, $450 a month. Your power bill is going to run you about $180. Your phone bill is going to be about $45 a month. That's not even talking about your car payment. you only get $600, maybe $700 a month on Social Security. That's not enough to piss on. And here's where they fuck you. If you go try to work on Social Security, they'll bust you, say you're a fraud. They'll put you in federal prison. They ran up the Social Security on my end, so I owe them $20,000. When I didn't even know. My parents took my goddamn checks. Growing up, I didn't see shit. They didn't teach me how to manage money. They didn't teach me a fucking thing. They just threw me out here in the goddamn street. And ever since, I've had to figure it out myself. So you're not allowed to have more than $2,500 at any time. You're not allowed to have more than one car. You're not allowed to have assets. You're not allowed to have investments. That's kind of fucked up, ain't it? It's like they want you like a junkie. They want you taking their pills so they can fuck the taxpayer. And they give you pills that fuck you up so they can track you with these fucking phones and see how they're fucking your head up. Look at the VA, 48 goddamn veterans die a day. And you know what they give them? They give them some fucked up drugs. They can't do any other drugs. Hell, they do a bump of cocaine to put a veteran in jail for 20 years for a fucking gram bag of powder. You tell me that ain't a con. And you want to know how bad it really gets? I tried to get out. So I chased storms on this platform where Susan Wojcicki's stealing my money. I worked for 5 fucking years, risking my life. Almost died in the eyes of hurricanes, in the eyes of tornadoes, because I didn't want to be a fraud. It's the only thing that works. You can't work a job. Otherwise, they'll railroad your ass. Then you can't not work or they'll call you a lazy bum. So like I said, it's a whipping post. The goddamn blacks, the Mexicans, they, which I'm not saying anything bad about, I'm not trying to get racist. They're minorities. You can't fuck with them. They've earned their rights back. The gays, God bless the gays. Not saying anything bad about gays now. They earned their right. 40 years ago, in this state, it was black and white water faucets. Today, still gays are being discriminated against. LGBT shit. To this day, gays can't marry in some places. And with the Jews, there was anti-Semitism. A lot of people didn't like Jews. So now that the Jews are getting their rights back. The only people who aren't getting their goddamn rights back are the disabled and the crazy. They're hated across the board. Nobody likes a crazy person. Nobody likes a person on disability. And there we have it, because we're abused. They poison us with fucking drugs. They rip us off. And the people think we're bums. Government officials hate us. And guess what? We're the first ones to go to the concentration camp. So I don't like people talking to me about fucking Social Security. They say, oh man, you lucky motherfucker. I said, hey, you want to switch shoes, bitch? You make what I make in a week. The cheapest, lowest worker out here flipping burgers at Burger King or shuffling fucking boxes at Sprint Mart makes more money than I make in the first week of employment. The goddamn illegal immigrants get more opportunity than I get. The goddamn bums, sex offenders, fucking sex offenders get more rights than I get on disability. So that's the real truth about the scam. And I've only got 5 more minutes left. So if you guys got any questions, I see there's nobody in here. That's compliments of Susan Wojcicki. Like I said, she's a corrupt, greedy person. We're going to talk about her later. She's stealing my money. And like I said, she's too cowardly to come to the table. We've got situations now where she's violating my First Amendment rights. Wire fraud. That's textbook example of wire fraud. That's 15 years. And federal pound me in the ass prison. I tried to get an indictment. I called the FBI. I couldn't get anybody to do anything. Why? Susan's, like I said, $40 billion company. She probably owns the FBI, owns the CIA. She don't show up to work, I'll tell you that much. She hasn't posted on her channel in several months. I told her her legacy is this, and you guys can take this to the bank. I don't care what you see on Facebook, 85 million likes. I know you love your PewDiePie and you love your, Shark Tank or whatever you watch on this motherfucker, and that's fine. But don't be distracted. That's a creator. I'm talking about a platform issue. Susan's in charge of this platform, and she's censoring people. She's violating people's First Amendment rights. She's stealing my birthright that I've worked for generations. She's stealing from my communities, everybody who works with me. And I want her legacy to go down just like she is, a common art thief. No different than the Nazis in World War II that broke into Jewish homes and stole pieces of art. She's no different than that. She's worse than a horse thief or a car thief. A car thief steals a car. It's intangible. You buy another fucking car. A horse thief steals a horse, which is, I think, worse than stealing a car. But you can always get another horse. An art thief is a particularly low piece of shit. They steal somebody's creative vision and somebody's dream. And in Mississippi, this is our creative culture. We're the home of Delta Blues. I don't give a fuck what they told you about Memphis. We're the home of rock and roll. The king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. And you coming and crossing state lines doing this wire fraud bullshit, you're going to go down. We're going to take you to federal pound me in the ass prison. You're going to be known for the cowardly, silencing art thief that you are. You talk about equality and unicorns, where there's people down here dying in Honduras, women being raped, kids being slaughtered, down here in Syria. Hell, your own people. Look at Jerusalem. Look at Israel. Look at the threats they got to deal with. You give Jews a bad name. You give Americans a bad name. You give YouTube a bad name. You give this platform a bad name. I suggest you stand down. If you want to drink $100 lattes and smoke 16-inch cigarettes and jet set around the world, your takeoff. She burns more fuel taking off in her private jets than most working Americans make in a year. The first 15 minutes of flight, she burns more money. And I'm not against rich folk. That's my dream. Hell, I'm just saying, if that's the lifestyle you want to live it. But you're fucking me up, and you're fucking my country up, and you're a worthless piece of shit. You're an art thief, Susan. I'm here on Social Security trying to chase storms. I wave the American flag. I volunteer with the Lions Club. I donate money to the Friends of the IDF. I try to raise money for causes that fucking count. What do? You take it away and you stuff it in your purse. And I hope that they get you and they lock you up and you got to bond out. We're going to put you in the San Francisco County Jail, San Bruno County Jail. You're going to bond out in 72 hours, just like any common crook. And we're going to see you in court.